Hello, this is Patrick at OneCNCWest, and what I'd like to do in this video is talk a little bit about an advanced topic that comes up from time to time when we're talking about turning. Now, there's been some situations when I've been asked if it's possible to profile a lathe part using a groove tool. Now, at the moment within OneCNC, if you were to go into your lathe toolpaths and, for example, go into your turn face finishing operation, it's going to require you to use a standard turning tool if you're going to do any profiling. Well, again, this is an advanced topic, but I'd like to show you a workaround. It's a little bit of work, but I'm going to show you how you can use this technique to do exactly what you want. If you want to profile with a groove tool, I can show you how to do that. In fact, what I'm going to show you today is something that can also be applied in milling as well, and you'll see why in just a little bit. All right, so for example, let's zoom in on this. And to make things a little easier, let's say that we just want to profile this radius and that vertical line right there, but we want to use a groove tool. So at the moment, again, if you use the finishing operation, OneCNC is not going to let you want to use a groove tool for that. However, if we were to create some extra geometry, and you'll see where I'm headed here, let's just hide this chamfer. Hit the letter B on the keyboard. If I can make OneCNC think that this is a groove, we can then head over here to our turning toolpaths, go into a groove finishing operation, and I am going to select all the geometry because remember, I want OneCNC to think that this is a groove. So I have all that geometry selected. Let me grab a tool here. This is just a standard groove tool. There's nothing special about this. I'm not really worried about the speeds and feeds for this. I'm just going to push through this and let OneCNC create some toolpath. All right, so there's the toolpath. That's way too much toolpath than what we need, right? But here's what you can do. And you can do this same type of thing within milling as well. If we head over here to the lathe groove machining operation, if I right click on that and select Backplot, that's going to create geometry from that toolpath and place it on a layer called Backplot. In fact, if I were to turn the other layer off so we just see the Backplot layer, you'll notice that we're seeing the geometry of that toolpath. So all we need to do now is delete the geometry that we don't want. So I just hit the letter S on the keyboard and I'm just left clicking the geometry that I don't need, and then I'll hit the delete key. Let's delete this line as well. So this is the geometry of the toolpath, and that's on this layer called Backplot. This is important because we can use that same exact groove tool and use the lathe a chain machining operation to apply toolpath to that geometry. Now, I want you to remember that the original groove toolpath that we performed, that's over here within the NC Manager, that toolpath already accounted for the width of the groove tool as well as the corner radius of the groove tool. So this new toolpath that we're going to use, the lathe a chain toolpath, all it has to do is take that groove tool and drive it on that geometry. All right, but what's also important about the lathe a chain command is that if the geometry is solid, here we have these solid lines, the toolpath is going to be a feed move. Now, if you were to, let me change my line style to dashed. All right, if I were to create some extra geometry, let's go back into our line tool, dashed, and I realize that you would not want to wrap it into the stock, but I'm just showing you that when you perform the lathe chain command, anytime it sees dashed geometry, it will perform a rapid move. So let's do this. Let's go into lay the chain. I'm going to start here. That's the direction of cut. I'm going to hit the F3 key to select the rest of the geometry. And I'm going to use the exact same tool that I had used before. All right, and again, I'm not worried about the speeds and feeds right now. Let me just type in anything here. So we no longer need the first machining operation. I can delete that. All right, so here's our toolpath. And if we were to preview this toolpath, preview toolpath, you can see that OneCNC has generated the exact toolpath that we want. Toolpath that accounts for the width of the groove tool as well as the corner radius of the groove tool. Now I realize this was a bit of an advanced topic, but the idea of backplotting toolpath into geometry and then applying new toolpath to that geometry is very powerful and can be used in both lathe and mill. All right, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.